Number 16. The revenue in dollars generated from the sale of X picnic tables is given by R of X equals 51X minus X squared divided by 250. Find the marginal revenue. So now they're reminding us that marginal means derivative. Okay, so the derivative of the revenue is the marginal revenue. Now we're going to use a shortcut on this, save ourselves some time. And we said that if f of x is some constant times x, f prime of x is just c. So that applies to this one. So that's going to be a 51. Got a minus here. Now I've got an x squared over 250. Now that's going to be our power rule. If f of x, or part of f of x is that, our power rule would be power times the base, power minus 1. This just so happens to be over 250. So you leave it over 250. So f prime of x is 2x over 250. And like any fraction, you can reduce this. 2 goes into 250 125 times. So this is going to be minus x over 125. Much easier than doing it the long way by the limit definition of the derivative. So now we need to answer our questions. An expression for the marginal revenue is, well, that's what we just found, 51 minus x over 125. The estimate of the revenue from the sale of the 5,001st table. Now remember, this is the slope of the tangent. So we've got this point right here, can be any point, okay? They want us to look at 5,000 though. And how is it changing at that point tells us our estimated revenue for the next one, which is a whole table, so it would be at 5,001. So if we do R prime of 5,000, we're finding the estimated revenue for the next table, the 5,001st table. So we go 51 minus 5,000 divided by 125. So that's 51 minus 40. So that's 11. So the estimate of the revenue from the sale of the 5,001st table is 11 because that's the derivative at 5,000, and that's telling you how it's changing. So it's changing by 11. So the 5,001st would have a revenue of 11. So in part C, they want us to find the actual revenue of the 5,001st table. Now remember, we've got a formula for revenue here, but that's for the total revenue. So if I do R of 5,001, that's for all 5,001. This is the total for 5,001. Okay, so to find just the 5,001st, I've got to subtract off all the revenue from the first 5,000, and that will give me the revenue for just 5,001. This is the revenue for just the 5,001st table. Okay, again, if I just do R of 5,001, that's the total of all 5,001. But they don't want us to count the first 5,000. They want just this. So we go to our revenue formula. So R of 5,001 would be 51 times 5,001 minus 5,001 squared divided by 250. That's the original formula, the 51x minus x squared over 250. Now that's going to give me an amount. And then I've got to do R of 5,000, which would be the total revenue for the first 5,000 tables. So 51 times 5,000, subtract 5,000 squared over 250. And when I get these two amounts, I have to subtract them to get just the 5,000 in first table. So these are going to be pretty big numbers because this is revenue for over 5,000 tables. So 51 times 5,001, subtract 5,001 squared divided by 250 is 155,010.996. Okay, so that's for 5,001 tables. 5,000 tables, 51 times 5,000 minus 5,000 squared divided by 250 is 155,000. Okay, now if we subtract these two, we get 10.996, which rounds to 11. And so this is 11. And so comparing these, the marginal revenue gives a good approximation for the actual revenue from the sale of the 5,000 first table, because the marginal revenue, in this case, either one of these very close to, but if you round it, it comes out exactly the same.